you familiar with Joe Matarese at all, Eric Zane?
Actually, the last time I was on, we did the Joe Matarese show.
That's right.
And that's, I think, when this all got started. And
awesome.
Then it's kind of, I know it's gotten a lot of momentum on your show, which made me really happy because I thought that he was like a skilled comedian or something like that. And then when I watched and listened, I was like, what's going on? This isn't adding up in my brain because it's retarded. This is all bullshit.
Yeah. He was on America's Got Talent, so obviously he has talent.
Right, he must. It's the name of the show. All right, so Joe Matarese, and I caught this on the Blind Mike Project, and thank you to Craig for sending this to me because he has taken this down. Joe Matarese is in a casino or something, and he's smoking a cigar, and he's just coming up with some brilliant ideas, much like Aaron Imholt was just coming up with some brilliant ideas. He was doing the same thing. And so I have a couple clips on that, and then we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Joe Matarese. But
and you also, like, when you get in the clip, you'll notice, like, his cigar is down. Like, he actually has to take the neck off or whatever that's called, the tag. I don't smoke cigars. But he has to take down. And then his Makers on the Rocks looks like iced tea. It's so watered down. Like, he must have been dwelling on going live for a little while to get the liquid courage to do this. And then this is what you get.
That's interesting. So my first clip that I have on here was not played on the Blind Mike Project. This is how he starts it off. He's just staring at the screen, waiting for people to start watching him. Oh. And his demeanor is like he's the new it girl or something. Like he's a hot chick that's going live on Instagram.
So hot.
He's fucking dancing to the tunes. He's got a cigar. I've never just like pulled out my phone and gone live. I know a lot of people do that.
And he's at the slots. Like, at least play some slots then. Like, be a little fun. If you're going to wait and you're by something entertaining, why don't you, like, utilize your environment a little bit?
Exactly.
It's so embarrassing.
Also, put that fucking cigar away.
Yeah.
Frame yourself up.
Yeah, go back to your room and do this. You're out in public, and this is what you're doing. And this goes on for 30 minutes. I'm going to play a couple highlights. So he comes with this brilliant idea. He's got his next big idea. And the one thing we know about Joe Matarese, he's always got a new show, a new angle.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what if I did this? You know, he's always like,
reinventing.
What do you guys think about this? This is the next big thing.
What do you guys think about me doing a documentary? I started thinking about it.
Okay. So he just said, what do you guys think about me doing a documentary? Now, the one thing that we know about Joe, and Missy has watched all 3 porcelain documentaries.
I really hate to admit that, and that is a fact. I have spent the last 24 hours watching that shit.
Porcelain,
but it's good.
Mike
Well
David
produced.
from Red Bar have really exposed this guy for the hack that he is. It's pretty incredible. So Joe's big idea is, what if he made a documentary? About what, Joe? What are you going to make your doc about?
That was my question.
If I ran a GoFundMe to make a documentary about my career in the past 6 years, as it's been trolled a lot.
Could you imagine? Guys, what if I made a documentary about me? Would you guys watch that? You want to give me money to make that happen? What? No, definitely not.
Jesus Christ.
You weren't ready for that, were you, Eric?
No, it's just the level of how blind people are. I mean, thinking that they're so self-important like that. They're oblivious to it.
It's delusional. Delusional. You're thinking of delusional.
Yeah.
From the porcelain docs to the Red Bar stuff to all these other podcasts, I've become a genre now. Making fun of me is like a genre. It's like a genre.
It would be, but you took all your fucking podcasts out, asshole. I would have made your regular segments.
Oh,
He quit podcasting and took everything down, and now he's trying to act like he's Stuttering John. You're not. You're not Stuttering John. You're not at that level, asshole.
But he's been doing this for 24 years. He knows, man.
Yeah, right. I love that he thinks he's a genre. Guys, making fun of me is a whole genre. Well, it's me and Blind Mike at this point. You know, like Red Bar's moved on, Porcelain's moved on.
Yeah, they did their job.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Already made fun of you to your face. You know, like, whatever. We've all moved on now.
Has he ever referenced you in any way, or have you spoken to him?
I signed up for his Patreon and he emailed me. He goes, oh yeah, of course you want this content, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then he canceled his page.
Oh no! What a pussy!
I know.
He sends a lot of emails. There's a couple accounts of him emailing people like, "You watch Goodfellas? You see what happens to that guy?" And you're just like, "What, bro?"
Look at his face right there. That sums up Joe Mattery's better than anything. He could be doing his Rocky
Can you just
impression.
like clip that? Just right now, take that and then give someone to animate it, and we'll just make it the thumbnail, please, because that is perfect.
It is great.
I will say though, the idea of a documentary made about what all of these people do to Stuttering John, I think that would be very interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's onto it.
I mean, but this guy, no. I mean, no one knows who the fuck you are, you idiot.
Yeah, you're not that important. Trust me.
It's like a genre for podcasters now. What do you think? Would people donate?
No.
Because it costs a lot of money to make it. I would want to make a good documentary.
How much did Porcelain raise to make
Nothing.
Like, you just do it.
He has this really delusional too, where he thinks that getting the better, bigger, more authentic looking thing would somehow provide the value, which is not true. It's the substance that provides the value. And he always fails to he doesn't even build it up enough for it to have its own substance anyway. But he could literally do this himself. He could literally have a camera and do the interview and then use the same fucking clips that they use. He actually has all of them archived because they're his.
Correct. Yes, this would not be difficult to do. And he goes on to explain why he needs to raise all of this money.
Maybe we could get some name comedians to be in an interview style.
You're friends with those comedians, Joe. They'll talk to you. He's like, I need to raise some money so we can get Colin Quinn. And like, no, if you know Colin Quinn, call him. He'll probably say yes.
Why is he spitballing to what? 3 people on his phone?
I know. He took this down. This is embarrassing.
This is embarrassing.
All about from the night I did the show with Artie Lang, Jim Norton, and Anthony Cumia. That's when it all started, that night.
So, yes, that is when it all started. Fixing Joe live at the Village Underground was a fucking disaster. It's also one of the funniest podcasts ever made. We did a whole deep dive on it on WATP. But that was the beginning of the end for Joe Mattery's.
That's how the documentary begins. And then it goes into a deep study of why I get targeted.
Because you suck.
Show a little bit of that.
This is going to be a short doc.
And he's unlikable. He's also unlikable.
It all started to now.
I mean, you can be shitty.
I know I have 3 documentaries.
You can be shitty and people, I mean, that's all I've done is fucking try to be nice and have a good time and suck. I mean, who gives a fuck? But this guy, Jesus Christ.
But I love how he says that that's why he is who he is now. No, you were already that.
Yeah.
And you exposed yourself to that. Like people got the peek into you that night. That's not when it started. That's when you had your veil taken off. People saw.
Correct.
Because I was wondering what how life was for Joe before Fixing Joe.
Right.
You know?
It was Joe.
Yeah.
Well, he was already a failed comic at that point. Like he'd had his chances. He'd been on national television. It didn't work out. And so now he's like, oh, the next thing I'm going to do is talk about how I suck at life. And I'll get Artie Lang to tell me how to be better. That's a
that's who I go to when I want to improve my life.
Right. My life coach is Artie Lang. Okay. And Jim Norton. All right. Good luck.
From the night it all started to now. I know I have 3 documentaries, but I mean my own documentary showing everything that's happened.
Is he drunk? Is he?
Yeah, that's the liquid courage. He was sitting on that for a minute before he decided to go live. Yeah, I'm good. Fuck it. I'm going to go live.
I haven't watched all the docs, but didn't he do an interview with Porcelain? Wasn't that one of the...
So that was itself.
What he's explaining has already been done. He's like, well, what if you hear it from my perspective? He's like, yeah, no, we did that. Yeah. we got it.
Yeah, you did a great job. Actually,
fucking idiot.
Pointing at yourself.
And how it's affected me and how it affects other comedians. that go through the same stuff. I think it'd be interesting. I don't know if I could get enough money together.
Okay.
How much of a budget you think I would need to make that? Because you need a good DP. You need somebody who can shoot it and edit it, do a really good job on it.
What does he want? What does he want? Does he want like a slow pan up his driveway and like some aerial footage? Like, what the fuck does he want that he needs something that dramatic? Some cinematography. He's saying DP. You want to direct? Like, you really want some hardcore? Like,
Hey,
no.
guys, what if I started a zoo with a bunch of tigers on it? Would you guys watch that? Would you watch a documentary about me and all these tigers and someone gets their arm bitten off? Would you watch that?
I don't know what's more terrible, the obliviousness or how thin-skinned he is. Because, how often do we see these type of people who are just so butthurt by whatever happening to them, whether it be getting picked on by you or whoever. But I mean, it's
the reactions that really shows you who these people are.
I mean,
and his reaction is narcissistically based.
Yes,
it is based in narcissism.
I said that about Aaron Imholt. I'm like, dude, you're handling this horribly. You're doing this all the wrong ways. It's crazy. It's like, fucking be an adult. What are you doing? This Joe Matarese is a child.
He's like deliberately learning nothing. From
deliberately learning nothing. Yes, perfect.
But I'm the subject. I'm the main subject.
Eating his ice.
There's
What
a
an
big
asshole.
NSC story. Because nobody gives a shit enough about me. It has to be about other comedians too.
That doesn't even fucking make sense. He goes, all right, so we're gonna make a documentary about me and my last 6 years of my career since the first since I did that Fixin' Joe podcast. But I'm not that important, so maybe we'll have a B and a C story. Maybe like Stuttering John will be
But
sprinkling.
he contradicts himself.
Yeah,
right?
wait, what do you mean?
He's just like, but he's like, oh, I like I'm the subject, but like you can't focus on me. I need to have other people there. It's like, no, you just want other people there so people don't focus on you, just so that you can literally get a leg up off of them, which is what you did with Sebastian. That's exactly what he did with Sebastian. He asked for the second time for at the Madison Square. He's like he wanted to not headline or whatever, the open for him.
Yeah. And
Sebastian didn't want it. And then he goes, oh, you don't have to pay me. I just want the followers. Like,
well, that's coming up in a second. After this, he does say he's going to get Artie Lang to be in this documentary if you guys give him money. Good luck with that. Artie's not doing that anymore.
We don't even know where he is.
Yeah, no, Artie's out of the public spotlight at this point. You're not going to get him. But for some reason, he claims he's going to get Artie Lang. And I guess Artie needs a certain amount of money to be in this guy's documentary. All right, whatever. So this is where, to your point, Missy, she's so delusional. He sees that he's popular in some way on the internet. And he's trying to figure out, how do I make money off my popularity?
Right.
How do we engage all the people that watch the Porcelain documentary? There's 3 docs, right? And then the interview. It's like what Kevin Brennan says. It's like 700,000 views when you combine all those. How do we get to all those people? How do we engage? What do we got to shoot it on the? We'll put the documentary on Porcelain's channel.
Why?
Is that how it
Show the
works?
side of the story.
Yeah.
He's literally trying to be a lolcow. It's like, other people hate me on the internet. How do I get them to see me do this other thing?
How do I harness that power?
Yeah, harness that power?
I don't know. Do something interesting other than being in a casino, drinking a drink and looking like a fucking rapist.
Yeah,
He just knows how uninteresting it is. That's why he doesn't do his own thing. And that's why he is constantly like relying on other people to lift him up. Mm-hmm. Every single person within his arm's length is he doing that with, instead of just looking in towards himself and just doing what makes him happy and then letting the people draw into that, because people like authenticity. And he's not providing that. That's why people like these documentaries, because we get the looking glass, looking into his life on that way, and we see it.
Also, the idea that there's 700,000 people who enjoy this guy as a clown, as a guy that we clown on the internet. And he's like, would you guys give me money to show you my side of the story? No. We don't care about that at all. If Porcelain wants to make a part 4, all right, I will check that out.
I would check it out. Because I actually want to see his sympathetic spin on it.
Interesting.
And I'm sure it would just be an utter piece of shit, but sorry, Joe, you're just not that interesting.
Well, the good news is he's feeling good about himself. because he stopped reading the internet.
I don't think I'm a failure. I got confidence. I built myself back up in the last few weeks. Not reading. All your
Knocking it back
comments.
down.
I don't think I'm a failure. I'm doing all right.
You are currently failing right now.
Yes.
Maybe it's a bad idea. If you guys think it's a bad idea, and like I said, it's for you. So if you
There's
don't-
7 people in the chat just putting thumbs down emojis. He's like, all right, maybe it's not a great idea.
Stop. Just go gamble. Do what you do at casinos.
He has
You
no
know?
confidence at all.
Well, that's
Want
how
me
that
to do
clip
it.
opens, right? He's like, just sum up. $850. I sat at the blackjack table for 30 minutes. That's not how you play blackjack. You got to be in that seat for hours.
Correct.
And you got to
Multiple hands.
lose to make it big.
Advice for Joe. Those people that said thumbs down to the idea.
Yeah.
Those are actually your friends.
Those are your friends.
Yeah. Those are
Yeah.
not trolls. So hang on to them.
and you don't think it should be done, I'm not going to do it. I'm just throwing it out there to you guys.
Just breadcrumbing
What
you.
would make you guys want to watch it?
It's not about
What would it
them.
have to
It's
show
you.
for you to be interested in it? Let me know.
Well, maybe like a
Start
Bud
with-
Dwyer ending, or maybe you get off your meds and start freaking out again. Like
Stop drinking
that's what
on
I'm
your
watching.
meds. This motherfucker is drinking on those meds. You should not be doing that. You black out really quick on that shit.
Is that what happens? I don't even know what kind of.
Yeah,
meds he's on.
I
know
used
he's
to take
on-
shit in in college, because college is great and fun socially.
yeah.
So I used to be on that, and I remember drinking. It was terrible, and it takes a year to get off that shit. It is not fun, and it makes things so much worse. He would be better off if he
Sounds like
wasn't
you
on
were
it.
fun in college, though.
It was good times. Yeah.
I bet it was. Sounds like
That's how I talked all the time. You end up being Joe Matarese.
so. You wanted to kind of analyze what is fucking wrong with this asshole.
Dude, he has so much shit going on, and he is a narcissist. He does have some periphery things or things on the peripheral, and but man, and we can go as far back as when we saw him on the Live Fixing Joe, and even if you want to go like my clip 1, he goes back and forth like, boo-hoo, man, you guys, I'm hurting because you guys are so great, but I'm actually better than you. Like, what?
I know that you guys are quicker witted than me, and very.
Not true.
I really think that.
That's not
I
true.
know for a fact if we had to. Yes, you are, but I know from being in this business for 29 years what I might be better at than you guys.
Life.
Which would be life, probably.
Hey,
life.
doing an Opie impression?
Yeah, he got all butthurt because these guys were all scoring on him. Everyone's getting in quips and jabs, and everyone's laughing at the audience. So then Joe has to be like, "Oh yeah, well I'm married to a very successful woman, and we have a lot of money and kids, and you guys don't have any of that." They're like, "Yeah, we know that, Joe."
Yeah, and then in that next clip on 2, it kind of carries over to, he talks about being so, what's going on is so disconnected, and then narcissists have to punch down other people to
Yes.
uplift themselves.
Correct.
And this is exactly what he does here with these 3 legends that agreed to sit next to this man.
Right.
Well, we can say one of the things I think with everybody running like fucking crazy these days
Posture.
is that nobody's
Yes.
really connecting. I know this is like fun for you guys to slam the shit out of me,
Yes.
but
It actually is, yeah. I didn't think I'd like this as much. I can't think of anything more fun than this evening. This is actually awesome.
it's fun, but it's very disconnected, and that's why you're single. It's like I'm serious.
no,
I'm
no,
serious.
that's why I'm a comedian.
Oof. Nice.
Yeah.
So this
He
is
just
from
doesn't get it.
this is from the Porcelain documentary, Inconvenient Goof. The
It
Joe
is,
Matarese doc.
It's great. It's well done. It's well
It is.
done.
Yeah, Porcelain does a great job.
And he's got a great voice. He clearly wrote it, but he's talking about being so disconnected, but he's so not self-aware, which a lot of times narcissists aren't, because they just have this inflated image of themselves. So he has where he constantly is having parties with his family, but nobody wants to be around him, or no, not that nobody wants to be around him. He disconnects and goes off to the side to go live and address strangers, probably because, which a lot of times narcissists, they would rather appease and please strangers than their own family and loved ones. For the most part, a lot of times that comes from because everybody knows their bullshit. Everybody knows their playbook. So they are just not
like
also,
people who haven't figured them out yet.
Yeah, and they haven't figured them out. So they're not as impressed
like Leo
with them.
Gunn, they like Dirty Deeds, like Dabbling Dan.
Sure, it's like a mini geographical cure.
Yeah,
they're just going to keep moving their camp.
And it's a quick dopamine hit for them because they need constant supply to feel this like validation. And people at barbecues are kind of doing their own thing and they're talking about stuff. Nobody's bowing down to Joe. So what does he do? He turns to going to live. So that's my clip 4 and 5.
Tell Red Bar to go get more money from his rich dad. He just comes across like, I have a rich dad. Am I the only one that thinks that? Joe, Red Bar says, you get a new start next year. Tell him to ask his dad for more money to buy him more equipment for his fucking 8 teenagers that watch him. Tell him I said that.
Oh my God. Can project much?
Oh, that's the thing too. Like, you can't be mad at a guy like Mike David and also say he has no viewers. If someone has no viewers, like Chad Zumock makes fun of me, I never address it. He has no viewers. I don't care. He can shout whatever he wants in his bedroom about me. It doesn't bother me in any single fucking way. So the fact that he goes, yeah, and you know what, Mike David, your dad buys you all this shit and you're a spoiled brat and you only have like 8 teenagers watching your show. Well, obviously not, because you're addressing it and you're upset about it.
But they address it, but he's oddly specific in a way that is like, that's what you're doing.
Yes.
He is projecting a lot onto himself. And there is, in another clip, this one is really weird because it's like clearly more of like a dinner party where now everybody's inside and he is like in another room, like huddled against a wall. Like, you're like, what are you doing? Why are you not around people?
Looking good, buddy. Looking good.
What a rapist.
What is he doing?
In our final video,
right,
Joe starts the show.
But yeah, like, go watch that documentary. I use that for clips because like you can't find those clips anywhere. So, thankfully Porcelain has that. But yeah, that's
how long has this? Sorry,
no, you're good.
I had a question because he's talked about how long his career has been. Is it only this past year that it's been all of the people making fun of him? Is that
no?
This has gone on for a long, long time.
Yeah, like
he said
20
6 years.
Yeah,
trolling.
Okay.
Well, he dives into it. He gives
like
into
he said.
it.
So Eric, that Fixing Joe, he was trying to do a pilot for a new show. He thought it was going to get picked up by Netflix or something. This Fixing Joe show.
Yeah.
So he gets Jim Norton, Anthony Cumia, Artie Lang to do this live show. It was supposed to be like, guys, my relationship with my wife is weird, right? Like, can you guys help me out? Give me some advice or whatever. And they just like clowned him the whole time. And he didn't like it. So he took that episode down. It's the best thing he's ever done, but he's embarrassed by it because he's the butt of all the jokes. So he took it down. So because he took that down, the Streisand effect happened where everyone was like, why doesn't Joe want us to see this thing? I kind of want to see what's going on with this thing. And that's how the Porcelain documentary got made because of all that.
Yeah,
so,
and he put it behind a paywall and someone was like, thank you, and duplicate.
Red bar, yeah, correct. So yeah, that's kind of how this whole thing started off because, and I've mentioned this before, but Dan Filato told me that Joe Matarese was one of the best comics on the scene in the early aughts. That no one was quicker than him, no one was better with crowd work, his act was great, but it was before he met his wife, and his wife, who's a psychologist, something like that. Yeah. Put him on this medication that turns him into a dummy. It turns him into a boring dolt.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even consider that lineage, like that linear story, like that happens. And like his wife is like fed up with him. She is. And if you want to take a look at clip 9, she ends up coming on Fixing Joe.
Oh, wow.
Episode 29.
I don't think I've seen his wife before. That's interesting.
No, it's just audio. It's just audio. And she dives into it, and you get a peek into their marriage, and it's pretty fascinating.
I was asking what advice he had for you for dealing with the highs and lows of the business, because it just seems to me lately that you're kind of on like, you're dangling by a thread or something, that it does not take a lot to make you very upset and to put you into a depression. Well, I just feel like you always want to have a talk. Like there's always a crisis, or always a...
About my career?
It does. I don't know. No, not necessarily. But I think that your unhappess from your career feeds your unhappiness in general. It's the same thing that I think.
Yeah, this
about.
is like a witnessing into like there's a divorce on the horizon here.
It's over.
Like, what a defeated woman. It's like you can tell she's like just staying together for the kids, staying together for the kids.
Some people are just difficult to be in a relationship with. And Joe just seems like he's one of these guys who's just like, all right, can we not talk about you for fucking one time? Can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has children, a boy, a girl, and Joe.
Right, yeah.
I never want a woman to say, it seems like you always want to have a talk.
Yeah.
I never want to hear that.
That's a chick thing.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe's a chick.
You're being a chick, Joe. Stop.
Very high maintenance. Very high. It's a problem. This is a problem.
Yeah, continue, because this is great.
Okay.
When you think, oh, if we downsize, if we get an apartment, if we move, like that's not going to make
Can you pause real quick?
difference.
With her, what she just said, oh, if we downsize, we do that. Joe wanted to sell their $800,000 house and squish themselves into an apartment so that they can use the liquidated money to invest in each other's career. When he says that, just give me the money so I can go do what I want.
Yep.
That's what that is.
He's going to make it in show business any day now.
Yeah,
and apparently on the porcelain interview, he claims that was a joke. It's like, well, obviously it wasn't if she's addressing it right now.
Well, very seriously, too.
And that's the same argument. Remember when he said, I wanted crowdfunding to make a documentary? That's a similar type of...
Yeah, he seems to always be scraping for his own money, because I'm sure his wife was like, yeah, I'm not funding your bullshit anymore.
Joe just wants to hit the goal, everybody. We got to hit the goal today.
Knock it out. Is not a, when he says invest in your career, you have to be a good investment.
Well, yeah, ultimately, just can you write a joke? And if you cannot, you shouldn't get any funding.
I mean, let's look at Joe's credit history in his career sense.
Well, rich people don't get rich by writing checks. That's one thing that I know for sure. It's just like, I'm not just going to invest in you because you asked me to. I want this to actually have a return.
Right.
To your mood. I think it's a combination of being worn down and exhausted fighting this force that never seems to stop of, oh, be good for my career if my fans see my family. That always seems to be like the message I get, which is just do this, please, because it'll be good for my career. Do the podcast because people like to hear you. Do the reality show because that would give me exposure.
She's great.
Do this.
I love her.
I know. I thought I didn't like Joe's wife. Now I do.
No, she's all right.
Fix me.
She's got her shit together.
Yeah, she's everything. She's clear speaking. She's clear thinking. She's on point. And this piece of shit's fixing his fucking hair in a casino.
No, that reality show was for the 20 grand.
No, that was
we did win.
It was also, you said it would be good for my career. I've been fighting that.
This is why when I have my wife on the show, I don't talk to her about anything real. I'm like, did you see something John yesterday?
So about last night.
Fuck, that's so
I take a nap. Napping, Carl. You don't.
All right, Missy, anything else you want to play?
I don't know if you want the rest of this clip real quick, because it just keeps.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, do it. I want to hear more.
It'll be good for my career battle a very, very long time. And I think I'm tired. That's number one.
Do you disagree with that?
I don't think it really makes a difference. In the 15 years that we've been together, I see no pattern of this is good for your career. I think I just
What do you think
have
is going to
reached an age. I'm still answering Ron. I think I've reached an age that I don't.
You speak when spoken to, young man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I just don't care as much anymore. I mean, I don't do social media, but I've kind of just accepted that it's sort of the way of the world, and it was equally, probably more tiring to keep trying to say, don't put me in the video, don't take pictures, don't do this, don't do that, than it is to just be like, okay, whatever, fine. I mean, I'm tired, and then I'm tired on another level. I'm tired of.
I know what that means.
I have a headache.
She's sick of you. I'm tired at another level. I don't like your voice. I don't like the words you say. I don't want you in my presence.
One time I ever broke up with a dude, I've never broken. One time I broke up with a dude. This is exactly how I talked to him.
Wow. Yeah, this sounds like a breakup. It really does. It's brutal.
Trying so hard for this career with you. It just feels like it never ends. It feels like, well, I'll be done in 2 minutes and we'll go downstairs. It just feels like no matter what.
We have one more call for you.
It's never going to be where I'm like, hey, Joe, okay,
He's
great. You did your work. I did my work.
He is not listening at
What was
all.
that?
No,
What
he's
did I
not.
miss there?
He had a call.
She was actually talking off camera to her child,
Yes.
who
Okay,
wanted
I
her
thought so.
attention.
Yeah.
And she was being a good mom. And she was like, all right, I'll be right there. All right, are we done here, Joe? Are we done with
How
your
long
bullshit?
ago was this recorded? Do you know, Missy?
I don't know. So I actually was wrong. So obviously, this is the Life of Joe. So it's not Fixing Joe episode 29. It's whatever, Life of Joe episode 29. So yeah, I'm not sure. So if this makes you feel bad, let's just run to the clip real quick of him bringing up Artie stabbing himself when he was on the A&A show, just so you can really see. This is like when we kind of see Stuttering John, where we kind of feel bad for these people here and there, but there is a toxic, nasty side to them that they will lash out on, which clearly she's experienced this. There have been accounts where he's lashed out on her. When he came back from a cruise, he was pissed that she didn't have the driveway shoveled, and posted it on Facebook.
In Joe's defense, that's pretty fucked up. I just got back from a cruise and I got to park on the street.
He was a comedian on the cruise. It wasn't a vacation. Way different.
Right. It was just work. Yeah, it was a gig. Yeah.
Himself in the stomach numerous times when high.
Congratulations for staying on topic, despite Joe's fucking desperate attempt deflecting to Artie's drug habits like he actually gives a fuck. That is the biggest piece of shit move I've ever seen, Joe. 30 years in the biz and you can't hang? What the fuck's your problem?
Wow. This guy's fucking going at you.
I guess you weren't on the end of a call that your friend fucking stabbed himself 10 times.
Oh, wow.
Now
this guy's deflecting.
Look at this body language, too.
Yeah. This is the same body language.
Exactly.
That when Stuttering John was on this show.
Yep.
And Artie's facing away from him. He doesn't even want to look at him. He's just
disgusting.
Well, that's it's. That's just also like his positioning too, but also talking about Joe's body, like
Yes.
I don't want to you know, it's just this like he's so embarrassed. He feels like he's like in a confessional or something.
Yeah. Why do people think that this is a way to go at Artie? Artie's not proud of this. He's never like bragged about it. It's awful.
No, but thank God, and you can see here actually how he handles it.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like I don't give a shit? Why the fuck would I not? Tell me why I wouldn't give a shit.
Well, if you give a shit, you don't bring that up right now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's why.
Video of that? Can you roll the video?
I'm saying
Should have made a video.
I'm saying that's why, that I've
about
had
letting the air out of the show.
calls.
How
I
I
don't
really
want to get them anymore.
He's so uncomfortable.
Good.
His body language says it all right there. He does
Yeah,
not
he
want
needs
to be
to
in that
boil in
room.
this bullshit that he made for himself.
What an asshole.
And Artie's comeback right now is great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think
You're the
of.
one fixing him after that?
Yes.
No, it was Joe.
I said stab yourself 9 times, not 8 times.
This gave the green light for
Yeah,
Artie
you can pause it. I guess later he does say, he goes, I stabbed myself there. He goes, you just stabbed me in the back 9 times. Like he did. It's so true. And my final analysis with Joe Matarese is he is Artie Bucco from The Sopranos.
Oh.
If you want to just play like a little bit when he is when he's in the hospital with Tony and he's all pathetic and sad, and then he just pivots into this evil. Like this is the perfect, and because he also is just super cringe.
Brilliant analogy.
Tony, that's what, $6,000?
He looks just like him.
What about the rest of the money?
I'll assume the guy's dead. Collect the 50 G's.
Thank you. The cobwebs are now removed.
Oh. What the fuck are you talking about?
You saw this whole thing, didn't you? You knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, right there.
You can see 20 moves down the road. Please, I don't blame you. I envy you. It's like an instinct, like a hawk sees a little mouse moving around a cornfield from a mile up.
You think it's my fault you're fucking lying in here?
It's just that somebody mentions 50 grand to bankroll a French digestif, and your mind goes through all the permutations at like internet speed and realizes, oh, worst case scenario, I eat for free.
You fucking suicide. You're disgraceful.
I'm sorry.
That is Joe Matarese.
It's Joe Matarese, am I right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I will never not look at. You don't have to play the other clip, but people know they've seen. I know everybody has seen Sopranos. When Artie Bucco is talking in the mirror, that's
Joey.
him. That's him. When he's like, "Hey, qu'est-ce que c'est? Answering machine broke."
You're right. Brilliant.
Shit. All right. Sorry if that went long, but like,
no,
dude,
great.
what a basket case. And like you do feel bad for him and you want to see him do well. But like, I gotta say, I think his wife fucked up doping him up because she really, that's how she chose to handle him.
Right. It makes him digestible around the house, but it makes him horrible on the internet and on stand-up.
I guess his poor kid needed like the charger. And he came in and he's like, and I guess the kid's like 11, 12. And he's like, hey, Dad, I need like my charge back. And he's like in the middle of a live. He's like, oh, I'm at 3%. And the kid goes, Dad, I gave you my charger an hour ago and you're at 3. Like, dude, like something as little as that. It's just like you really just like disappoint your kids at the smallest spaces.
Who are these podcasts?